So what's going on, guys? My name's Jamie, welcome back to Officially Gassed. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to have a sit down and a talk about me and my car history. So guys, as ever, it should be interesting. Stay tuned and let's get it. Alright guys, so yeah, I thought I'd do this video today because I almost feel like I've just been out there just knocking out bare videos and just come onto this YouTube scene without anyone kind of even knowing me or kind of anything about me. I've never got too personal in any of my videos or said much about me. Like certain people don't even know how old I am and things like that. So today, as I say, it's going to be my car history, but I thought I'd introduce myself first. So obviously guys, you know my name's Jamie. I'm 30 years old. I live in Hertfordshire currently. I'm originally from Northwest London, or the outskirts of Northwest London. And yeah, I still work full-time, so I do YouTube as a part-time job. I'm actually a mobile mechanic, a fire engine mechanic, so a HGV mechanic at heart. Been doing it since I was 16, so I'm qualified to be talking about these cars a little bit anyway, but I still chat rubbish, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought I'd start right at the bottom, where I got my love for cars and everything, motoring from, and it's spanning back way back to when we was young, around the ends, around the area. The bigger kids used to ride their mopeds, their 50cc's around, and these times I was young. I was probably about 12 or whatever, and I remember a petrol scooter come up for sale. I don't know if you guys remember back when these petrol scooters were a thing, but a petrol scooter come up for sale, and by hook or crook I got that petrol scooter, and it was from then. This thing was ratty tatty, I nearly killed myself in it a few times. This thing flew, but it was from then I got my love for motoring. So eventually we worked our way up. When I hit 16, I got my first moped. It was a Yamaha Aerox. We were riding them from 15 actually, so let's not talk too much about that. But anyway, first legit, had my Yamaha Aerox, then I had a few bikes, but basically we bought them out. 70s, we used to go down Ace Calf. It used to, the twist and go nights, not sure if anyone knows about that, but basically used to go down there. We used to be just wheeling up and down the strip. Bro, I stacked that thing so many times, it is unreal. When I turned 17, it was straight onto the big bikes now. I went out and I got a Cagiva Mito. For guys who are not aware of the bike side of things, this Cagiva Mito was a 125, it's like a Ducati replica. This thing was sick. It was old, it was like an L-Reg. It had 7 gears, it was crazy, it was fast, you know what I mean, for a 17-year-old, I thought I was flying. I smashed myself up on that bike big time. I had a dirty crash. My boy bought it off me. Not my boy, one guy from the area, he bought it off me. And you know, it was like that bike was just cursed because he bought it, I think 2 weeks later, or a month later, he crashed it in a proper crash. He broke his femur, he was in a coma for a couple of weeks. It was hit or miss if he was gonna live. That bike was cursed. So I moved on to the Aprilia RS125. This thing had power valve, this thing was flying. I think it was 33 brake horsepower, but it weighed as much as a shoe. So it was flying. I was beating cars and everything, I used to love it. Stacked it loads of times. Got to the point where it was I've just ruined this bike. Bought it on finance, just ruined it, but it was still driving. It was all bent up, but it was still driving. Long story short, I got a driving ban. I was reckless, so I got a ban. But at the time, when I got this ban, the girl I was seeing at the time, she must have lived she must have lived 2-3 miles away. And I was how, I used to drive to her house to meet her all the time. I was how the hell am I gonna do this? I have no clue how I'm gonna get to her. So I had a brainwave. And guys, you remember them mini motos? I thought, right, so if I'm on a ban, you don't really need a license to drive a mini moto. Don't slate my train of thought, but obviously I was young. I thought, right, I'm just gonna buy a mini moto and I'll zip through the parks or whatever and back roads and I just get to a house. So I went on eBay and I found this one for it must have been, I think it was £120. So it was dirt cheap. It was like a scrambler. So it weren't the super bike looking one. It was a fake little scrambler, but tiny, literally tiny. So they sent it through. I got it. It was flat pack, but it was built. It was ready. This thing, you could just hop on it and go. I didn't read the instructions. It was just ready. I think I had to just put 1 or 2 little things on it. It was just ready to go. Anyway, I was tearing that about, and it was doing its purpose or whatever. Funny story. I was zipping around for time with this bike, and bearing in mind I'm on a ban too, so it's terrible. I was driving around and I was to my friend, I was look, you gotta come have a go on this. And me thinking it's a scrambler, I took him to the park. So in the park, and he's driving it, then I had a go on it. I'm something don't feel right on this. It just felt a little bit wiggly. So I don't know, but anyway, I didn't think too much about it. But right outside the park, there was a main road and it had a speed camera on it. And I had previously on this mini moto been driving next to my boy, right, on his ped. And he clocked me at 40 mile an hour. It's a 30 mile an hour road. So I thought, you know what would be funny? If I make that camera flash, no number plate, anything like that. So I thought, right, I'm gonna go for it. Bearing in mind, I thought something was a little bit funny with this this mini moto, but I thought nothing of it. So anyway, I've hopped on it, zipped around, my boy's on his ped, driving behind me, I'm on the main road now, giving it, I'm coming through the speed camera, yeah, zip, I don't even know how fast I was going, zipping now, I must have been nearly at 30 miles an hour, front wheel fell off, the front wheel clean fell off, I went flying down the road, mad, shoes come off. I'm so glad the camera didn't flash. I'm so glad it didn't flash, because if it flashed, that would have just been a picture like for the record book, you know what I mean? Just mashed me up. My boy said it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen in his life. He was driving behind me. So yeah, after that, I got into my cars, come off the ban. I was into my old school cars. Me, just coming off a ban, my insurance was gonna be terrible. And I've got like, everyone's got that dodgy friend. I had one friend who knew a friend who could do insurance, guys. Never do that. Basically £500, he reckoned he could insure any car. So I thought, right, that's it, I can just get my dream car. So I looked out there, found an Escort RS Turbo. Went and got the Escort RS Turbo. It was a convertible. I know people at home are probably thinking, okay, they don't do Escort RS Turbos in convertible. So it used to be an XR3i, it had the lump dropped in it. The RS Turbo lump dropped in it, and that was my saving grace after this. So basically what happened is, a week into me having this car, obviously this £500 I'll insure any car on the dodgy side of things, it flopped obviously. So it left me with an RS Turbo. I'm like 18 now. I've just come off a driving ban. But luckily the saving grace of it, just because it used to be XR3i, it weren't that bad to insure, so I insured it under my mum's name. I was the second driver. Anyway, drove that around for time, loved the car. It was convertible, I used to have one of those flip out screens in it, and what happened is, it wasn't the face-off one. I couldn't afford the face-off one, so I just chanced it. Come back to my car one morning, and in the top of my convertible, someone had cut a sunroof, went in and stole my thing. Stole the stereo clean. So yeah, I was rolling around with some bodged up convertible RS Turbo. But anyway, the thing was mad. It was a gunmetal grey. It was a full RS Turbo conversion. It was my baby. It was low. It just sat so nice, like Recaro seats, Bailey dump valve, stock power. But I used to love it. I actually swapped that car for I'm not sure if you remember the 205 GTIs. Well, I swapped it for a 1.6. It was originally a 1.6 205 GTI. I'm not sure if anyone at home remembers. People used to do a conversion on them to the MI16 engine, I think it was. I think that was out of like a 406. Well, this one had a similar conversion, but it had a S16 engine put in it from the GTI 6. I think it's a 306, so I can't remember. Basically, it had a 2 litre lump in it. So anyway, that thing flew. It was so light. Unfortunately, the person who done the conversion had left the standard gearbox in it and a stock clutch. And I popped about 3-4 wheel spins in it, and it just ripped it to bits. And then after that, like, this car never ran amazingly, so I thought, you know what? I'm done with these done up cars. Let me get a sensible car. So I went down to Car Giant and I got a Mini 1D. So that was a 1.4 diesel Mini. It's a moment in my life as a petrol head that I'm not too proud of. But you know what, that car done me well. I've done a few modifications to it. Nothing power wise. There was nothing you could get out of it, like, you know, but it looked nice, it looked the part for the time. So I had that for about a couple of years. And then I moved on to a Mazda RX-8. So that was like my reintroduction back into cars. So the Mazda RX-8 was sick, but it was the 192 version. So it was the underpowered one. I think the other one was like a 230 brake horsepower one or something like that. I loved it. Like the cockpit, it was just a dream. I bought it on like 7,000 miles, so it was basically new. This thing was like the juiciest car I've ever owned. And also it's the car I've owned the longest. Like I've owned this car for like 2.5 years. Although the displacement, I think it's only a 1.3, it's a rotary engine obviously. It drunk like a 3 litre. And I think on the logbook it even said it was a 2.7, and insurance wise, they noted it as a 2.7 because it was quick for what it was. Loved the car, never missed a beat. I know about 70,000 miles, those engines are trash, but I only had mine to like 30k. Learned to drift in that, learned to do donuts in that, so that was sick. After that, I thought, right, I like it, but I got a bit pretentious. I wanted my bag, so I went into I went back to Car Giant. This going for a period of my life when like Car Giant was just where I bought my cars. I bought the Mini from Car Giant, I bought the RX-8 from Car Giant, and I went back there. It was like a sweet shop. I was just financing my life away. I seen a Audi A5 2 litre TDI Quattro, and these times I'm thinking, right, after the RX-8 was raping me so hard for fuel and running costs, I thought I want a diesel, like, you know what I mean? So I went back to the diesels. And I picked up this 2 litre TDI Quattro. Now I say Quattro in brackets because I bought a 2 litre TDI Quattro. That's what it said on the logbook, that's what it said on the window. Anyway, had this car, I was loving it. I've had this car for about a month or two. Let me get under it and just make sure everything looks good. So I got under it and I've looked up now and I'm thinking, well, I can't see a prop shaft. Like, I know they hide prop shafts on cars, but I can't see a diff fibre or drive shafts going to the rear wheels. What the hell's going on? So I'm looking around, I'm thinking, no, it's not just me. There is no diff, no drive shafts, no prop shaft going to these rear wheels. This is not a Quattro. From factory, this car had been badged up and labelled wrong, like from factory. So I went back to Car Giant now, bearing in mind I've probably done about 3,000 miles in it, and I've said to them, look, you sold me something, just a Quattro. It's not a Quattro, I've been under it. Their technicians took a look at it, come back and said the same thing. I said, I want my money back, I want a full refund, I want a Quattro. They said they're not gonna do it because I've done mileage in the car. So the best they can do is knock £500 off it, because that's the difference between a front wheel drive one and a Quattro one. So I thought, you know what, at the time, didn't really care, loved the car anyway. Took the £500. On the flip side of things, about a year and a half later, I went back to Car Giant. Bearing in mind, I love Car Giant for cars. I seen the BMW I want. So I thought, right, I'll part X that in and I'll buy this BM. It was a 325 B LCI shape, 2011, a white one, sick. So I thought, right, I'll sell it back to Car Giant. Like, they stung me. It's still labelled on the logbook as a Quattro. So when they've done the whole Part X price, they've Part X'd it as a Quattro. Like, you know what I mean? We've done the whole Part X thing, then there's me thinking, rah, like, you know, this is a win, like, you know what I mean? Because they bumped me and I've bumped them back, selling the car back to them, so I was happy about that. So I don't know who else bought that car. Guys, if someone's out there got the car, you might just want to check if it's a Quattro, because you might not have a Quattro. So yeah, bought this LCI, mapped it. It was nice. The 325 LCI was nice. Mapped it. Again, it was lively. Once it had a map, this thing flew because it's the 330D engine in it. It was manual. Used to love it. Anyway, got bored of that. Sold that to my mate. My mate still got it. It's about 4 or 5 years ago. My mate still got that. I don't even know how that car's still driving. Like, he's raggedy now. Like, shout out to Elliot. But it's quick. It's still quick. And after that, I got my M3. I got my first car. I got like my first, what I would call my first proper car, which is an E92 BMW M3. It was manual. It was stage 2 Evolve tuned. Had the dyno printout. It was 440 brake horsepower. It was decatted, the X-pipe on it, and that is what got me into the scene. That car got me into the scene. Like, a lot of people who follow me on my Instagram and things like that, before I was doing YouTube, know, like, they know me as the BMW M3 guy. I used to love it. Used to be reckless in it, going through tires left, right, and centre. I just went in circles more than I went in straight lines. I was one of those people that so easily led. If someone said donut or wheel spin as I was driving by at a car meet, they hadn't even finished saying the word, I was already doing it. Juicy, that was like £500 a year to tax. Tires, crazy. Servicing, crazy. I got a bit annoyed though, because the car was quick, or I thought it was quick, but I had like stage 1 Golf R's like staying with me up my arse, and I'm thinking, hang on, this ain't right. This ain't right. I know they're probably getting 30, 40 miles to the gallon in a little 2 litre. I'm paying all this money just to get beat by them. Don't get me wrong, you can't compare them. A V8, the way it sung, it was immense. But anyway, it annoyed me a little bit, so I put up with it for a while. I think I had that car for like a year, maybe a year, just over a year. Loved it, but I let it go. It was mint. And then I moved back to a 330D, because that car stung me so hard running the M3. I moved back to a 330D. This time it was a 2011. It was a convertible 330D. It was really, really nice. Auto, got that mapped. It was quick, but again, almost the people on the car scene that I'd kind of made friends with through the E92 M3, they forgot about, man, overnight. Like, you know what I mean? So watch out. But I kind of know it was like that. Like, my base of friends isn't perhaps my car friends, shall we say. I think I'm the only one of my boys who are really, really into cars. So I lost half of them overnight. I was like, all right, cool, it's nothing. Had that for about a year, maybe not even a year, maybe like 8 months or something. These times I was just going through cars like left, right, and centre. I got an Audi S3 because I thought that's the dream. I got the saloon, I got the 8V, Audi S3 saloon 8V. Absolutely loved it. It had the Bang & Olufsen, like the sick Cobra seats. It was really like nicely spec. The only thing is, and a big mistake, I got it in the manual. I think I ran a tuning box in it. I think I had a DT UK tuning box in it. I had an air filter. I had a blow-off valve, like a forged blow-off valve. But the car was just, it was boring, if I'm honest. The S3 was just boring. Sick car, build quality crazy. Very good at doing everything, but not great at one thing in particular. Also, because I had the stage kind of 1, would you call it, that tuning box on it, clutch would slip now and again, like when it was on its most aggressive setting. That's why I'll never really go with any of these S3s or Golf R's in manual, because as soon as you want to do something to them, you're literally swapping out the clutch, and that's like £1,500–1,600 straight away, like, you know what I mean, just to run a stage 1 properly. Got rid of that. I had that for about a year, maybe a year. I part exited for my A45, and that was a car that I'd wanted for ages, and it wasn't in my price category, but it kind of just come into my price kind of bracket, and that's what a lot of people know me about, and it's what the YouTube channel actually started itself on. Obviously, I went through loads of states to tune. I had a tuning box on it, D2 UK tuning box. Again, it was okay. So after that, I went to MSL, and I went and got the stage 1. Stage 1 was sick. The car was flying, and in fact, thinking about it, that was probably the best the car ever was. It had the AMG factory sports exhaust on it, I had an air filter on it, and that was it, a few other cosmetic things. I love the car. As you do, you get used to things, and I thought, right, that's it. I'm going big power. So I spoke to MSL, like we were going to be the pioneers in this new TT 550 turbo. Obviously, because we were working kind of in partnership and it was like a development, obviously they sorted me out on the price. I had it for a couple of months, a few months in fact. I just wanted the car back. Thing was never running right. We were running methanol injection. It was meth dependent. So I basically told them, look, just put it back to stage 2 and we just run like that. So I was running it stage 2. In the time that I'd been away from it, I kind of just lost the love. It got to the point where I was like, you know what, MSL wanted to develop it further, or they were talking about buying one. So I said, you know what, guys, buy mine. And then it was over to the Golf R, and I was always a little bit pretentious with makes, so I'd always heard the Golf R is the best, or one of the best hot hatches in that price bracket, like the 20, let's say 25k price bracket. But I was always hesitant because it's a Golf, and like I was like in my Audis, my Mercs and things like that. But you know what, I thought, right, let me bite the bullet and see what these cars are about. Not even being biased, I have never looked back. That's why I was straight up saying, like, the Golf R, in my opinion, in a state of tune, I would say it takes a little something, because like a stock S3 or a stock Golf R, they're just not going to do it. They're a little bit boring. They don't give you a lot of noise, they don't give you a lot of drama, but you know, you set them up, you drop them, put some suspension on them, bring it to life, drop an exhaust on them. These cars, they are sick, they're weapons. Gotta be DSG, has to be DSG. And yeah, this is where I am now. Obviously, you know, I bought my car, my Golf R, for stage 2 APR. Obviously now it's Litco stage 3. I'm sure you guys have followed my journey with that. And yeah, I'm just, you know what I mean, I couldn't be in a happier place with a car right now. It does everything I need it to do and more, you know what I mean? I'm smoking cars that are way more expensive, and that is the best thing about it, you know what I mean? I'm running around in a Golf and I'm smoking you in your nice expensive car. I hope I haven't waffled too much. I hope that's kind of been a nice little insight, although quick, or I might have scanned through things a little bit quicker than I should have. I hope it's been a good insight into my car history. So I'm gonna end the video here. As I say, it's not my usual video, guys, but I'll be back to the normal stuff next week. I don't even know what I'm gonna be putting out. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I could just be doing anything. I'm just so excited for where this year is gonna go. I wanna give you a big shout out. I should have done it at the beginning, but we hit 20,000K, which is amazing. The channel's just flying. Thank you for supporting me. So much more lit content to come. Couldn't even tell you what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be lit. You know how we roll. So guys, if you did like today's video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Go back and check some of my other content out too. I know you'll like that. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.